Hey guys, so um recently something pretty big happened, and what do I mean by that? Well, let me explain. So basically, there was a black undercover officer who was severely beaten to the point where he had multiple injuries. Right? I mean, they were beating this man, right? And of course, if that happened, you would honestly think that those officers involved would be in any sort of trouble, right? Because not only did they severely beat one of their own, but they did it because they just assumed that he was a protester, so that made it okay, right? Because last time I checked, I'm pretty sure a cop undercover wouldn't do anything stupid while he's in a protest to gain the attention of his fellow officers, right? I mean, I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening any other way, right? But I guess that alone wasn't enough, right? And after all that happened, they went to court, and the officers involved were or officer wasn't charged with anything. So basically, they got to walk away free. There was no convictions, none of that. It was just another case of a white man beating on a black man and getting away with it. And yes, I'm using the race card. I am. Because I cannot fathom how uh that doesn't contribute uh to the court in order for them to be to in order for them to get away with it. Like here, let me show you. Here's what it says, right? In 2017, St. Louis officers beat a black man at a rally so severely he had to have multiple surgeries. The white officers were unaware that he was a fellow police officer working undercover at a rally. On Monday, an all-white jury acquitted the last of the three police officers accusing of brutalizing him. According to NBC News, the jury acquitted Officer Stephen Coit of charges of depar- deprivation of right under the color of law, of lying to the FBI connecting to the attack on the black man. Officer Luther Hall, three white police officers were charged, and there were zero convictions. The beating took place when Hall was sticking for a protester during a rally that took place after former white officer Jason Stockley was found not guilty in the 2011 death of a black man, Anthony Lamar Smith. Missionary Congress Corey Bush tweeted out her disappointment in the verdict. Now let's see what she has to say. St. Louis police beat a cop who beat a black cop. I gotta slow down my read stuff. St. Louis police beat a black cop who was working undercover at a protest like Rodney King, and not one officer was found guilty. If an undercover cop can't get justice, how will the rest of us who have been maced, shot, beaten, and brutalized ever get justice? And by all by by all that, I have to say that I fully agree with her. Matter of fact, let's just let's just do this. By all that, I say that I fully agree with her statement, because if a black cop can get beaten to the point of multiple surgeries, how, when a black cop gets beaten to the point of multiple surgeries and gets no justice, at the end of the day, how is that supposed to affect the rest of us? Like, straight up, if he can't get justice, then what's going to happen to the people who were innocent, right? Who were at the wrong place at the wrong time and got beaten and got maced and got bullied to the point of just ridiculous circumstances leading up, like, sorry guys. I got to slow down and figure out what to say. Okay, so like I was saying, if all that can happen and the officers involved got away with it, white officers, no less, with a white jury, right? With a white jury involved, and that jury found them not guilty. What does that mean for the future where something like this happens again? What does that mean? Because that is straight Rodney King, like you said. That is Rodney King in a nutshell. May he rest in peace. If he died, I don't know. It's been a while. I don't know if he's still alive, but if he isn't, may he rest in peace. It's been like a long time. Like 20 years ago, I think. But with that being said, he has a point. And I feel like something needs to be done, but we're just not doing it. Because I myself, I don't always look at things that happen as something that happened due to racism, right? I don't believe that. I know some people will, but not me. I like to give it a chance. I like to just assume that people are assholes, right? But this is racism. This is racism. This is racism at its finest. Like, an all-white jury. How does that not scream racism? Like, come on, that's ridiculous. All I'm saying is that it's mind-blowing how a fellow police officer can't get justice, right? Let's forget about the color of his skin. Like, let's forget about that. And we'll talk. Let's just forget about that and talk about this. So, if a fellow police officer can't get justice from his fellow for his fellow brothers in arms, then what does that mean to the public? Like, what does that say to people who are watching on the sidelines and just waiting to see what happens, right? Because you realize a lot of people were probably invested in keeping track with this, and now they find out that in the end there's no justice, right? And that for them must feel really disappointing. And it must make them really angry. And I understand that. And I think that also plays the part where in my last video I talked about that I talked about that suitor and how people in the comments were cheering him on. And things like this, things happening this way, I truly can understand why people feel angry, or why people might cheer for something like that happening to unfortunate people, right? I understand the mindset now, right? I understand it. Doesn't mean I agree with it. Doesn't mean it's right. There's no real excuses for just deciding to wake up one day and kill your fellow human being, right? I don't agree with the mindset. I never will. But I gotta take the time to think and piece together why people might feel this way. And this might be this right here is another example of why they do. And I myself am extremely disappointed because shit like this shouldn't be happening. But it did happen. What are we supposed to do now? Do we just forget about this? You know, do we just wake up and act like it never happened in the first place? Granted, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm largely affected by the outcome, right? But I know there will be certain people who will be affected by this, right? And they will take it personally, as they should, honestly, as they should. Because, like I said before, I truly believe that in this scenario, it was racism. I just don't see how it can't be. I just don't see it. I mean, you're welcome to explain to me why it's not. But until that happens, I'm just gonna call for what I see. And I see racism. I see a straight reenactment of Rodney King. Like she said. It's only this time, however, instead of a civilian, it's a fellow cop. A fellow cop who at the end of the day didn't get any justice. What does that say to you? What does that say to you as an American? Does that scream the American way? I don't think so. And the crazy part is, there will be people who will act like that the officer they will say that it was his fault in the first place. It was his fault that he got beaten to the point of multiple surgeries. Right? And then they'll make up a long explanation of why it is his fault. Just like they did with Breonna Taylor. Just like they did with that guy who was jogging and got shot. Now they're saying he was in her home and he was stealing something. Even though there was no evidence of that, they're saying that now. Even though there was no evidence. Where the evidence? I don't know. They're saying it. They leaving no links. They're just talking about it. And then when we ask them, they're like, "Do you research? Like, motherfucker, if you can't show me a link, then I'm going to outright believe that what you're saying is bullshit. Because if your only response to my questions of where did you get this information, and you're just gonna sit here and say, do your research, then nigga, you're dumb. You're dumb because you yourself probably didn't even do your own research. You're just making stuff up and wanting other people to fall for it. That's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna fall for it. And I feel like a lot of people do. And again, I don't hate cops. Right? I used to. But I don't anymore. I'm like I said before, I'm the type that's waiting to see how it goes. And how right now, how it went is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And yeah, we're supposed to be proud to be Americans because of shit like this. America, land of the free, home of the brave. I'm tired. Anyways, guys, I thank everyone for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video that I'll post tomorrow. Because like I said before, I'll post on the daily. And you ain't catch me lacking yet. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.